Now, in my last video, I showed you how to set up a Technics 1200 turntable for just playing a record. Now I'm going to show you how I have mine set up for DJing. Now it's just, a lot of this is personal preference. This setup I have here, take off the record, it's one of my favorite scratch records, it's Super Seal. And what you have to have under here is a slip mat. When I was growing up, everything was like top secret. Everybody was so competitive, nobody would ever share any secrets or tell you anything. Now everything is, you guys starting out now are really lucky because a lot of stuff is pretty much common knowledge or shared very freely. There's a lot of slip mats available now that are better than a lot of the homemade stuff we used to have to do. I like these frosted plates put out. I believe they're endorsed by Qbert, which is one of my favorite DJs of all time. So what we have is, we have a slip mat. If you want to make it slipperier, you can put plastic under, which that comes with plastic sheets. Put plastic under it. And what I did growing up is we would just take the liners off the inside of the record albums, the plastic liners, and have to cut them out. Now they're pre-cut, so you guys got it easy. And you can adjust the friction that way. If you use just the slip mat with no plastic under it, it'll have a little more friction. And different DJs have different hand for scratching or back cueing and whatnot. And some people like a little more friction, some people like a little less. It affects your timing too when you're putting a cut in or whatever. And if you're gonna do any kind of scratching, you don't absolutely have to, but I recommend a scratch needle. These are the Concord needles I talked about earlier. They're already set up. You just put them in, and the overhang's already set. This is my older one. This is my Ortofon. I like to practice on that one. And I just got a set of Ortofon Qbert needles. Again, I'm not endorsing them, but I like the stuff he puts out. And a mixer, a scratch mixer. There's different brands out there. This isn't really the most expensive one, but it has the features I wanted on it. It has the adjustable curve, so I can get the I can adjust it real tight so it comes in real quick when I'm cutting. And it also has a hamster switch on it, which allows you to, because I scratch backwards, which means this, when I have this fader over here, it's actually this turntable. When I have the fader over here, it's that turntable. Some people prefer to mix that way. So what I'll start off with first is with scratching, and I'm no expert, but I'm just a regular guy who likes to mess around with this stuff. With scratching, you're going to want to get your feel for it. And when you have your fader over here, at least when mine's backwards, mine's hamster, when you have your fader over here, this is canceled out. You can't hear what's going on with this turntable. And that one is always on unless I take it all the way over, and then it cuts it off. And what I'm going to try to show you is how you get the different samples in there. Now this might sound kind of dumb, but you want to just get used to the feel, the drag of the record, if you will. And let me cut this light off because it's giving a little bit too much backlight. You want to get used to the just the feel of the record. You don't want to push down very hard. I like to use the outside. I'm old school. I'm 37. A lot of the young guys, they like to come in the middle, get a little more aggressive. I guess they can cut it a little quicker that way. But you just want to get used to the drag, the feel of how you can manipulate it, move it back and forth. And you never want to stop the platter. You want that platter to always be turning under it, because that's how you get your cut back in quickly. You know, when you're messing around doing your little scratching and you want to get it gets the speed back up real quick if you leave that spinning. Don't ever want to slow that down. Now, with the little cuts, I guess you could practice with like baby scratches, just to get the feel of it. And then once you get that down, see if I can get this over here. to show a little more. Once you get that down, you can practice with the fader. See, when the fader's closed, you get no sound. When it's open, it gets some sound. So you can open it and just sample with it, or you can practice closing it. You can put just the front, or you can have the back scratch. And you can make little patterns out of that. Go front, you take like the tip of it, that's called a stab, and you can just kind of put little combinations of it. Like with the forward scratch, back scratch, a jab, and if you're really good, you can come up with some really interesting combinations. What I like to do is have a little music going in the back, and just practice a little bit. This record is awesome because we didn't have this coming up. This record has samples over and over again on it. It's got the fresh sample. It's got a lot of these old samples on it. And if you lose a sample, you can hear it on your headphones, you can spin it around and pick it up again. But what's nice about this is it's quick to get to what you're looking for if you know what track it's in. And you just sample around with it, pull it back, stuff like that. But to me, the end-all be-all is still the fresh one. And just get a little practice on it.
I'm on the side. I like holes and clothes, but like I'm better in the sheets. I rock more beats than Jesse Owens ran track meet. I made the feet, moves that happen every day. When I'm on to the day, bring his ass on the leg. I weigh 190, but I kick up when I bust the lick, and shoot the way. It's like a show, knock the home, crack another boom.